So my name's Shelley Mills and I am the outreach worker for the adults in Wokingham supporting the unpaid carers. We basically make sure you get all the information that you need. Just to start off with, I'm just going to talk through the actual Carers Partnership and how it's broken down. So there's 3 charities that make up the Wokingham Carers Partnership. So we have AgeUK Berkshire, which is myself and my colleague Charlotte, and we support anyone over the age of 19, and that's everything. So that's cancer, dementia, strokes, every disability you can think of, we support those carers. Promise Inclusion support all carers that are parent carers with learning disability, autism, as well as any adult people with additional needs and stuff like that. And then Berkshire Youth are the young carers, so they support anyone between the ages of 8 to 18 that are supporting their parents, their sisters, and so on. So they're young carers. So that's how the actual Wokingham Partnership is broken down. In the next screen, I'm just going to show you the team. So there's me and Charlotte. We are the adult kind of service. And then we've got Maxine, who's Promise Inclusion. She supports the parent carers and anyone caring for anyone with additional needs. And then we've got Berkshire Youth, which is a gentleman called Ed. So just a breakdown on what AgeUK and Promise Inclusion offer, slightly different to young carers. So that's why I've just got this presentation with Promise Inclusion and AgeUK. So we offer support groups and drop-ins at the community hub, home visits, signposting to other charities for support, referrals, things like referring you over to adult social care for carers assessments. Plus we put on a couple of events a year. We support with form filling, emotional support, and carers cards. So starting off with the support groups. So in front of you is a list of our support groups. So we have the general carers group at the Bradbury Centre. That is kind of like a sociable gathering for any person caring with anyone with any disability. So that will be, anything. That could even be a parent carer. It could be anyone. Then we have the general carers support group, which is in Woodley at the Carnation Hall. That one is more of an information. It's kind of a bit more, we're bringing in people to do talks a little bit more than the other one. So there's kind of like a difference between the two. Then we've got the dementia lunch, which is for the carer and the cared for. We've got family and friends support group, which is a mental health support group. So it's if you're caring for someone with mental health. That is at Cornerstone. We have the drop-in at the Wokingham and Community Charity Hub. That you don't need to book. That's every Monday and Thursday between 10:30 and 1:30. And then we've got the parents carers group, which is at the Bradbury Centre as well. So a carers assessment is an assessment that you have to make your life easier, basically, simple terms. It's basically to work out whether you need any support with caring for your loved one, but at the same time, it is another way of getting respite for yourself. So everybody is entitled to have a carers assessment, and that's part of the Care Act. So you can reapply for it, so it gets reviewed every 12 months as well. I'm not going to lie to you, you will need to get in touch with the council. They very rarely automatically do it because they're so short-staffed. So that is something obviously we can support you with. We do make those referrals over to adult social care. What is the point of a care assessment? People always ask me this question, so I thought I'd bring this and put this into the presentation. So it's about talking about how your caring role affects you and how it affects your life and well-being. It's about the physical, mental health and emotional needs that being a carer does affects you, And it's all about, like the work and leisure, like if caring, the caring role is different to everyone. Some people, it's only a couple of hours a week. Some people, it's every day. Some people, it's 24/7. They don't actually get a break. So it will change from person to person. But these are kind of the outcomes. A lot of people do a care assessment, and the outcome of it is they get someone to come in and do their gardening once a month or once every 2 months. And some people get housework. Some people actually use it just for respite, and they go and, take up a dance class or a lesson of some sort. So it's definitely worth doing, even if it's just documenting and putting you on adult social care lists so they know and they're aware of you, or if it's a case of getting something out of it, which not in every situation that would be the case, but it's always good to do it for that reason. So at some point, the Carers Partnership will be taking on completing the assessments. At the moment, we only refer over to adult social care, and the social worker will come out and complete that assessment. That will be changing. It was meant to have changed already, but there's obviously, for whatever reason, there's delays. So in the future, it won't be the case of passing you over to somebody else and then you're having to wait for that call to come through and then to book it in and then wait for them to come out and visit you. It will be done a lot quicker than it is now. So just bear that in mind in the future. It would be a more straightforward, quicker, situation to be in. And also we would already have that relationship with you. So we would already know what situation you're in, which means if we're doing our job properly, you would have all the support you need. So it will be more the respite side of it. So normally if you've got someone coming out to do a needs assessment, the best time is to do the care assessment at the same time, because after the questions are very similar, so they can answer them at the same time and then complete the 2 forms. And that's what we recommend to carers to do. Not all social workers will automatically let you know that there is a care assessment, because for whatever reason they just don't. Unfortunately, that is the case. But then that's where we come into it, because we will then push for that care assessment to be done, and we would make that referral to make sure that you guys get that with that assessment done. And then hopefully the best outcome is to get some respite or get some carers to come in and help and support you in the home. So we help with filling in forms, so things like the disability allowance, PIP, carers allowance, blue badge, attendance allowance, pension credit, all of those forms. Not everybody's comfortable and confident in filling forms, so we will support you with that. Obviously we don't change the way you word it, but we will encourage you to think a little bit more in the direction you need to go in to fill that form in, but we will always fill it in the way that it's worded, because we want it to come from you. But it is something that a lot of our carers do worry about. So just to give you a heads up, if you ever do need support with any forms, then you can always come to us. And we've got the carers card, which is my favourite subject when it comes to the carers. So unfortunately in Wokingham, I'm sure you're aware that the Back Me Up service has come to a halt, which means there is no Back Me Up service. My understanding is there is conversation about it starting back up, but they are trying to find someone to take on the contract. In the meantime, we have the carers card. So what you see in front of you is what the carers card would look like. So on the front page, part of it, it would have your picture and it would have your name. I am a carer. And then on the back, it would have your emergency person's name. So it could be your neighbour, your sister, your brother, your auntie, your uncle, your husband, your wife. It could be your best friend, their telephone number. It will have the out of hours emergency number, which goes to Forest Care. So if there's an emergency, they can't get hold of your loved ones or your family or friends, they can contact that number. And this is something that you can carry around in your purse or your wallet and then just forget about it. You can also use it as a discount card. So if there is, I don't know, you want to go to the cinema, they do carers discount, you can just show them your card and then they will give you that discount. Theme parks, I know some people love theme parks. You can go to the theme park and show your carers card. And so on. So the people quite enjoy the carers card. I think just while we haven't got the backup service, the fact that it's got a number to contact if there is an emergency, that in itself is comfort to a lot of people while we're waiting on finding out what's happening with the Back Me Up service. The contact details that are up on the page now, you just literally, you can either drop us a phone call and just talk through if you've got any queries, or drop us an email with a photo of yourself, your full address, and your emergency contact's name and telephone number. If you're not already registered with us, then either me or my colleague Charlotte will be in contact with you to complete the registration form and just to go through ways we can support you, talk to you on a personal level of your situation, and just make sure that you're getting the right support that you need and put you in the direction that you need to go. It could be we could offer you a bit of emotional support and so on. So so you could just contact AgeUK Berkshire directly with the carers card.
Yeah.
So that's basically what we offer. We don't know the answer to everything, and we never try and make out we do. But what we do like to do is, if we don't know the answer, we will always come back to you with what we feel will answer the question. If not, someone that we feel would know the answer. That's pretty much us in a nutshell, really. Is there any questions that you might have?
I've got some questions.
Yeah.
So when you started the presentation, you went through the 3 different organisations involved.
Yeah.
So with AgeUK, is that all illnesses and all ages?
From 18 and above. So any parent carers go under Promise Inclusion.
So what are the age groups that AgeUK cover then?
Anything over the age of 18, apart from if they're a parent carer.
Okay, so because the
Has to be a parent carer of a learning disability, no.
the Age UK, I think, puts people off because they think that's older people. So
So we try
anyone,
and use the Carers
yeah,
Partnership as much as possible when it comes to dealing with carers.
mm,
So you'll see all of our advertisement. It's got our logo, Carers Partnership, and then a smaller logo would be Age UK, Promise Inclusion, and
okay,
Berkshire Youth. We try and like we've got a banner, for example. I don't know if you can see this because I've got the thing, but everything is the Carers Partnership at the top. That's our leaflet.
yeah,
So we've kind of moved away from the Age UK as much as possible. When it comes to talking about stuff and so on. So
okay,
I totally understand where you're coming from with that, because
yeah,
they're used to it being 50 to 60 plus, and people that we work with has struggled to get that around their head that we're actually caring for people under the age of 50,
yeah.
which, yeah, so I can understand that.
Well, that's good. That's good to know. And the carers groups, you went through those. And are they specifically just for carers, or do you do a separate group just for carers, or does it include the people being cared for as well?
So the two general carers groups, the two first ones, they are just for carers. They're not for the cared for at all. We do have one gentleman that can only come if he brings his wife. We will, I mean, the way I see it is carers need support, and if he needs support, then he'll come, but he doesn't come every single month, sorry. So he would just come as and when he needs a little bit of extra support. But in general, it is just for the carers only.
And what do you do in those groups then? Is it just a chat and catch up, or?
So they're both slightly different. So my colleague Charlotte, she runs the Bradbury Centre one, which is the first one. And that is kind of a bit of a social, people will come and talk. Sometimes it goes in a direction of talking about disability and sharing each other's advice and experiences and stuff like that. Sometimes it turns into a little chat about anything but the caring role. We do try and let the carers lead the direction it's going in as much as possible, because at the end of the day, you guys are the ones that need the break and you need the rest. So if you choose to want to talk about something completely different, then that's what we're here for. We're here to let you do it, use it for what you want to. Whereas the general carers group in Woodley is the one that I run, and that one is going to be a little mixture of everything. So for example, we do have social ones where people can have a little chat, a little catch up with each other, because there'll be different people there each month that haven't seen each other for a while. But we also have people come in to do talks. So it could be someone about safeguarding, it could be someone about direct payments. But at the same time, we want it to be just a little bit different to the other one. So for example, in December, we've got a fun and games group. Yeah. So instead of it being all about information, talking, we've got bingo, for example, and we're getting everyone to come in Christmas jumpers and sparkly colours, and we're just going to make it a fun couple of hours.
What's the sort of age group?
Varies. It really does vary. We've got people as young as 30 then, we've got people as old as, I think the eldest was about 80 something.
Okay.
So it does vary.
What's the difference between a needs assessment and a carer's assessment?
So the carer's assessment is just for the carer. So that is an assessment that the carer will fill out. So it's about how it affects the carer on a day-to-day basis. And a needs assessment is the assessment that the cared for fill in. So that is, I don't know, if they need handrails put up or any equipment, to be fair, then they would need a needs assessment, and then that might turn into an OT assessment or tech assessment, which OT will bring in the equipment and talk about physio and stuff like that. And then the tech would be if they need, I don't know, an alarm, a trip alarm or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. The other one was, what is the Back Me Up service? Because I don't actually know what that is.
Okay. So the Back Me Up service was an emergency service that was provided by the council, and it was fun. So it was provided by the council, but Wokingham Crossroads delivered the service, and it was. So if you have an emergency doctor's appointment, hospital appointment, or you get stuck somewhere and your husband needs his medication by a certain time, you can call them up and they will send someone to go and sit with that person. Okay. That is the Back Me Up service.
So that doesn't exist?
Not at this moment in time. I know that the council, there is massive talk that they were looking for another agency to take it on, because I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but Crossroad is no longer here. It moved over to Tafida. It wasn't being delivered the way that they wanted it by Tafida, and it's been taken off both. So at the moment, it's just sitting there waiting for someone to take it on.
Right.
When that's going to be, I honestly, I have no idea. I was hoping it would be up and running by now, but
yeah, well, it's quite a project, I would imagine.
Yeah. But the fact that it was already up and running before, you could hopefully that mean it won't be too long before it is back up and running.
Yeah, but sometimes it's just nice to, I suppose, have that outlet, really, just to have a chat with someone who is in the same position. Like Shelley said, you know, it's about being with like-minded people, being able to be honest about how you feel without upsetting anyone. You know, you might want to talk about because you're grieving for the life you've lost and you're going and the life you're going to lose. So how do you approach that? You know, do you feel that you deal with that sort of very well, or is that something you'll deal with when you need to, or how do you approach something like that? I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's a total roller coaster, this journey. It's just
absolutely
up and down, and then, you know, it's just horrendous, quite frankly. I mean, life's difficult enough without throwing this into it, isn't it, really? The other thing just worth mentioning, it's not particularly relevant to caring, but the Cancer Care Map is a website that you can go on, and you can put your area in there, and it will tell you all of the groups that are available in your area. So it could be a support group, it could be anything, but you might find that quite useful. It's got quite a lot of information in it, in terms of what might be out there that you don't know about, really.